Today's standard is to define database terminology and to create a database. The objective: by the end of the period, the student will be able to create a database and identify the parts of the Access window. When you go to open an Access database, the first thing you need to do is click on the Start button, go to Programs, find your Microsoft Office folder, and then click on Microsoft Office 2007. Once it opens, you then have the ability to do a number of different things. We want to create a blank database, so we're going to click on this button right here. This is Blank Database. When you create a blank database, you have to give it a name. So I'm going to call it Test, just so that we can open it up and look at it for a minute. You can save it in any folder that you want. You need to make sure that you save it in your My Documents. You're going to want to create a new folder, name it Last Name First, comma, space, and then your first name. And that way you will always be able to find your database in the My Documents folder. And then you're going to click on OK. Once you've created your folder and you've named your file, you'll click on OK. At this point, you see you have your test database. You have set up where you want it to go, and you're going to click on Create. That will open up a database. At this point, you have a table here, and you have your table here. All right, this is called your, right here, this whole white area right here is called your navigation pane. This is where all the objects for your database will show up. Your tables, your queries, your reports, anything that you create to go with this database will show up in the navigation pane. Across the top here, where you have ID and new field, all these fields up here, this is your field header up here to the right of this triangle. And in order to add a new field, you'll simply double click where it says Add New Field, and you'll give your field a name. And then when you hit Tab, it'll give you another new field, and you'll just give it a name as well. Alright, Tab, just like that. And you need to make sure your field names make sense to what you are trying to do with your field. Since we're only doing a test, Field 1, Field 2, and Field 3 is a good way of showing you how to edit names for your fields. When you think about fields, you can compare them to basically the Excel columns, because they go up and down just like Excel columns do. In a database, the rows are called records, and you're only allowed to have as many records as you actually have data in the records. So field 1 would have information here, and this would be a record, and this would be another part of the same record, and so on and so forth, all the way around. And whenever you finish one, you hit Tab, it'll take you to a new record. You can start a new record just like this. Alright, and the information that goes in the records would match up with the field names. So if you had name here, you'd have names in your field, in your record fields. If you had address here, then addresses would go underneath of it. Just like in Excel headings, it works the same way. Just like you have your field headers up here, you have your row headers that go along the left-hand side of all of your records. This is called a record header. These are actually called record selectors, because when you click on them, they select the whole record. These are your field names, or your field selectors up here. Once you start working on a table, you need to save that table. When you click on Save, it should go ahead and save your table. Save as table name, and you need to give your table some form of a meaningful name. At that point, it becomes an object in your database. If you do not save your table before you close your database, your table will go away. So you need to make sure that you save your table when you close your database if you don't save it before. Once you save it the first time, after that, all information that you enter in your table will automatically save to that table. This is your views button, and when you click on your views button, you have a couple different views you can look at. Data sheet view, which we're in right now. Pivot table, not important right now. We're not going to cover pivot table or pivot charts in this class, but design view is important because design view allows you to change your data types, what kind of data will go into your different fields, and it allows you to change your data, your field names if you need, and to give it a description to help your users out. And that description might very well be in your assignment, so make sure that you're thinking about your descriptions when you're doing your assignments. So let's go over the parts of your table again. We're going to go back to Design View. Up here, this is your View button. This whole entire thing right here, those are your fields. Up here across the top where it says Field 1, Field 2, Field 3, those are your field selectors. These are records that go across just like rows. These are your record selectors, these little gray boxes out to the right, to the left of your records. This is your navigation pane over here, and what goes in your navigation pane are all the objects that are found in your database. And this is an object, and anything in here is called an object. This is your shutter bar that allows you to navigate, and it opens and closes your shutter bar, your navigation pane, so that it gets it out of your way if you don't need to see it, or opens it up so you can find your objects. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope it taught you an awful lot and helped you to fill out your paper. Have a nice day.